Hello, hello. Welcome. There is no video today. So we are making a video today. I know that a lot of you have exams coming up, so this is really the time for us to chat, to answer any of the questions you guys might have upcoming to your exams. As I know, my microphone, it was quite low, sorry about that. But yeah, I've got the next hour put aside to kind of answer any questions that you guys have. I thought it would be quite good to do this, especially since, I mean, today I recorded a video that's on what you should do in the last few days before your exams, but I'm not sure when that's going to be coming out. So I think this is a little bit more urgent for us to talk about this. So yeah, all right. Hey, Alex. Hey, Reg. I don't have the butter chicken ready. Not today. Should you flip to a flip phone? Is that this kind of thing like go to a flip phone so you don't have to use like social media, all that sort of stuff? What exams do people have coming up? Let me know. I thought I would have got knocked with a question already, but I mean, this is fine. I'm happy to just chat with you guys. New lighting? I guess you can say that. None of my live streams have ever looked like this, so maybe you have to figure out what it is. Okay. Here we go. All right, what scores do you need for a 45? I personally didn't do VCE, I did SACE, but from what I'm aware of, A+. How to study for reading comprehension exam? It would depend on what you want to do, like what type of exam you exactly have, but let me think about it. Read more is one of those things, but I think it'd be quite interesting for you to look into the different levels of reading. There's actually, let me find it for you. So the different levels of reading. Everyone thinks like there's actually like reading techniques. So elementary reading, inspectional reading, analytical reading, and syntopical reading. This would give you a pretty good look into some of the research behind some of this that may help you out. For science, why is reading comprehension one of those things? Yeah. Okay, let me just catch up with chat. Hey, Socrates. Matt got the flip phone, yeah. So now's the trend. I think he's gonna make something on slow growth, just mentioning like, you don't need a flip phone to be productive. Am I getting the new MacBook? As far as I'm aware, yes. I've actually, I'm not sure if anyone can see, there's like a little dot thing there. So these are Jason's iPads, 2XQ, right? We've got some things here. How can I show this? Yeah, we got some iPads in here. Basically, there's new iPads, so I wanted to do a review of those. I haven't had yet the time to open them. How do I do this? There's not enough time. There's not enough space on my table. Anyway, guys, by the way, this is more about you. So if you have questions about the study, please let me know. Methods, chem, physics, engineering, 4 exams, good stuff. Trig and plate tectonics. Do you like not stream at ultra low latency? What do you mean? All right, so we've got an Apple Pencil. Oh, focus. There we go. Apple Pencil. Any Anki decks for physics? Mate, why would you want Anki decks for physics? All right, let's put you in timeout. Yep, cool. All right, we've got a first gen. Focus! Come on. There we go. So, that Apple Pencil. How much time should you have left before finishing the exam for like proofreading and rechecking? Depends on the exam length. 1 hour exams, I usually have at least 30 minutes. 3 hour exams, you want to have at least 30 minutes. For 2 hour exams, you're looking at like 10 minutes. That's generally the flow. If you have any other ones, just let me know. All right. Magic keyboard. Tips for English exam tomorrow. Which state are you in? Make sure you relax today, Flowly. That's very important. So we've got an iPad here. This one is iPad Air, 4th generation, Wi-Fi, 64 gigs. Yeah, you like the new setup? Nice. Did I use a cheat sheet for the physics exam? We didn't get any, but if I did, I probably wouldn't be using it much. We had ones for maths, I didn't really use it. 1 hour and a 30-minute, 1 hour exam, 30 minutes. Yeah, I stopped up there. This is gonna be interesting, right? The mini, there you go. You can see it like that, mini. Very interesting. This is the iPad mini 6th generation, Wi-Fi plus cellular, 64 gigs. Any tips right before the exam? Yes, good question. So one of the things that I think is most important for just before the exam is you need to build up some ritualization practices. Now, what do I mean by that? Effectively, you need a routine that you follow when you're about to go into focus in exam mode. So I explained this in one of the videos I recorded today, but essentially it's like if you think about Nadal, Nadal always does this thing and then he moves his shorts before he takes a shot. Sharapova always walks back, fixes up her the strings on her tennis racket before she takes her shot. You need the same thing. For me, it was focusing on an object, just getting in the zone, and being alert, focused in, no distractions, not thinking about anything else, just thinking about all of the, let's say, maths that I'm about to be using, and then getting to it, right? Trust in your preparation. So that's what I would definitely say if you have an exam tomorrow. Oh, so this is the iPad 9th generation Wi-Fi plus cellular, and we've got 256 gigs on this. I actually remember when I got like the iPad 2, so we're up to 9 now. It's pretty crazy. But that's that. Let's just put these back. I'm not going to do this now. Projectile motion. What do you need help with projectile motion? Yep. Sure, 2xq. Why'd I get the cellular iPad? I mean, it was just the one they had. Otherwise, I would not have got it. Yep. Yeah, my iPad 2 is just, it's kind of useless now. This is ridiculous. This was the receipt. Like, yeah. Anyway, come on. You guys don't have that many questions. Any tips for PE or bio exams? Depends how far away it is. But I can imagine you probably know most of the information. Now it's about like doing this thing called elaborative interrogation and rehearsal. You want to kind of expand your knowledge of everything that you know so far. So let me just put this away. Oh, I forgot these two. So, I have a lot of iPads because I'm going to be doing an iPad review on those pretty soon. Because that's one of my videos is just like getting so many views right now. So what was I saying? Yeah, for bio, PE exams. Yeah, so think about all this knowledge that you have and have memorized. And think about, okay, how could... It's basically thought experiments. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now for PE. Maybe for bio. Let's try with that. A simple example is like, okay, so the patient starts bleeding. So what is the responses by their body? Now, you may just understand like certain principles of homeostasis, like how blood glucose is managed, how water is regulated in the body. And now you've got this question that you've provided for yourself. Someone's bleeding. How would that affect everything? Would they, be releasing antidiuretic hormone? All this sort of stuff. So pretty much you're creating questions for yourself to explore these relationships that you haven't yet had an opportunity to test through your practice questions. So that's, we call that reconstruction. It's related to this thing called schema theory, but that's very complex. I would recommend if you have some extra time, right, you're interested in a lot more of the technicalities of kind of like what I show on this channel and stuff. Let me just send you a link to schema. All right, that's schema. Cool, we got 41 people. Say hi. Tips for maths exam. Exact same thing. You want to think about, all right, so I understand that this is how I can answer a question using integration. Is there anything that I can be doing to solve this a different way? Is there a better way? It's usually not too, like, it's not too magical about like what is the solution for you. It's just a matter of like being good at it. How many hours on average did I study in year 12? Maybe like as much as I'm studying. I think I was studying more than I was now. Maybe like 15, 17 a week. There's a lot less than most people. Do I find chemistry hard? I did. I never did it in high school, except in year 10. That was super basic. So going into med, I had to learn all of chemistry. And we did year 12 chemistry in 6 weeks, I think, in our first semester. Did I buy the whole Apple store? No. But it was pretty funny asking them. They're like, oh yeah, you're coming in today. What do you want? And I was like, can I just get these iPads? They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I need those. Because I had one of each. Is what I wanted. How many practice exams a day should you do? As many as you need. but to give you a better answer, I would never do more than 2 in a day. Like, you're going to be so dead. It's more important for you to be awake and present when you're really looking into why you got a question wrong, and how you analyze the whole exam and how you went. That's the whole point. So spend more time on that. How to reduce exam anxiety. So one of those things was ritualization, like we mentioned with Nadal and Sharapova. But some other things is just you got to trust on like the preparation. Like, you've prepared for a while now and you've done your practice papers. So you just got to do the same thing. And I know this is like stuff that gets told all the time, but you just got to keep reminding yourself that. And another way is like simulating the experience as much as possible, right? I know some people who even wear the same clothes when they do practice papers, because, I mean, I had to do that at some point because my school clothes are uncomfortable and I get cold. So I was acclimatizing myself to that. Bio on the 29th, 5 days. Best of luck. Your prep should be pretty light now. P 8th of November. Got some time. Did I take chemistry in year 12? No, I actually didn't. Best way to cram for English exam. It's not really something you can cram for, besides, you know, if you wanted to memorize more quotes. But English is a skill, just like maths, right? It comes down to a lot of practice. So with any sort of cramming, it's about prioritization, not rushing. So prioritize what's going to be most important and you'll be fine. How did I spend reading time in exams? Good question. Basically, I would start, but I would do, like, my reading time is like crazy. So essentially, if I had like a 3-hour exam, I'd literally read all the questions so quickly, just so I know if there's something that's really shocking me. And then I kind of have an awareness of like, okay, that question's going to be like hard. So I just need to make sure I'm keeping on time. And this is really easy. I should go in quick here. So it's basically just to know how I'm going to manage my time. But as soon as I've done that, that may take me like 1 minute. And then I just start and see how quick I can go. Okay, seems like I'm a bit behind on chat, so please bear with me. When it says someone threw a projectile off a cliff, I get confused with the range and max height. Again, that's hard for me to comment on, just because it's not specific enough. Like, what do you get confused about the range and the height? There's you know, the formulas. Yeah, how many hours on average did I study? I kind of answered that one. We got 50 people. Welcome. 56 actually. That's crazy. Let's see if we can hit higher. Anyway, ask your questions away. I'm around for the hour. How do we make challenging questions in maths? You firstly need to understand the material quite well, and then based off all the practice questions that you've been seeing, you can try and challenge yourself. That's the thing. You don't want to just rely on practice questions to challenge you, because that's passive. It's quite difficult to create challenging questions for yourself, but usually for math, it's going to be to do with theory. Again, it's really hard for me to give an example that's going to be relevant for everyone. But yeah, if you gave yourself a scenario like, okay, this plane, like spec maths, for example, if you had this plane, and then another plane, how many ways could you get infinite results, 0 results, or 1 result? And what would you use to prove that? Using row echelon form and all that. You've done a lot of practice exams right now, creating a final notes page across a study design. I'm also interspersing it with active recall practice questions. Is it an appropriate tactic? Yeah, for the, you know, all the study techniques that you know, then yeah. I mean, obviously there's always going to be better, but you know, like, it needs to work at the end of the day. So if it works, doesn't need to be efficient. Doesn't need to be. Hey, gonna make you tremble. How to best prepare for English if I'm stuck with rote analysis. What do you mean by rote analysis? Like, is that related to rote learning? Is the only way to not make silly mistakes just practice questions, or is there a more efficient way? Silly mistakes are very often not silly. It usually comes back to you not understanding why something was important, and therefore it requires this thing called greater encoding. You need to have understood the material better in this specific area for you to avoid that silly mistake. So let's look at some examples. If you forget to put units at the end of your answers, you obviously don't understand how important units are in the context of the question. Otherwise, it would become a instant reminder to yourself. So it's, for example, like, you know, a silly mistake. Are you going to forget to put your shoes on before you walk outside? No, because you understand that outside may be hot and it's important for you to wear shoes. That's essentially the level that you're trying to get with when you're trying to eradicate silly mistakes. You don't... The problem with silly mistakes is that you can only really identify them after making a mistake. But if you set practices in place, for example, let's say your phone tells you how hot it is outside, so you don't go walk and forget your shoes, these preventative measures will, again, just, stop the case of you walking out with your shoes, walking without your shoes. So the mistake will never appear. So that's basically what you want to be doing all the time throughout all of your study. And that is through using some more reliable techniques, such as inquiry-based learning, collaborative interrogation, collaborative rehearsal, some of the things that I talk on this channel, as opposed to passively reading, just straight up active recall and stuff. Cool. We got 60 people. Woo! What should I do at 100? If we get 100, let me know in chat. What should I do? You guys are going to dare me to do something crazy. How do you tackle exams? I.e. chronologically, backwards, etc. I just go through it chronologically. I haven't actually found much research around this, but it's just always been the thing that works, and you want to build momentum, I guess. It's my reasoning behind that, but honestly, don't know much research around this. What's the best way to tackle the first 10 minutes of an exam? So during your reading time, yeah, I just skim. This is, okay, there's a caveat here. For online exams, it's actually quite different. You don't have enough time to just flick through the pages really quickly because the internet's slow. So I usually just like try and do it where I can, which might be looking at the long answer questions, and then just go back straight to the start of the exam. That's what I did for my most recent immunology exam. How do you cram maths this week for the HSC? Cool. All right, let's talk about it. So, cramming technique, if you have 1 week, know exactly where all your weaknesses are. Get out the study design, subject outline, mark, I use a 3-star system. 3 stars means you don't need to revise it. 2 means you probably do. 1 means you definitely do. Do that and start with the 1 stars, then do all the 2 stars, and do all the 3 stars. That's the best thing for you. And then depending, I'm assuming you're, beginner with study techniques, intersperse your practice exams within also giving yourself time to actually go through the content. It's actually better for you if you can smash out all those 1 stars and 2 stars, then do the practice papers. But if you don't have enough time, then start the practice papers earlier. The thing is like, if you're going into an exam and you haven't covered all those 1 stars and 2 stars, you're just going to get it wrong anyway. So you're not actually testing your knowledge, you're just testing if you can guess well, because you didn't know it in the first place. Any study techniques to cram? It's just, there is a lot. When you look at effective cramming, you have to consider like this huge list. And I was working with some of my students today, and I just showed them the whole list of things that they now know. And they're like, oh damn, like that's a lot of stuff. And then they need to know how to apply that to the circumstances that they find themselves in. in a cramming situation, which is what I do on this channel. You guys see me cram. But it's very different to how people usually cram. Namely how mine allows me to cram effectively. Cool. Is my real name Archer or is it a YouTube name? Both. Yeah, it's my name. So, I mean, there's multiple stories that my mom tells me, but I forgot which one it is. It's something around, like, I think a jockey was named Archer. Or it was because there was a horse, or... no, I think my mom just thought it was a strong name. I don't know. I'm fine with it. But, yeah, some people call me Archie, and it's just like... I said my name was Archer. It's like... I don't care, but it's like... Yeah, it's just, some people don't listen. Okay. There's some things here I can't find how they make sense in context, so I'll just have to skip past them. Yep, real name is Isaac, last name Newton. What was the main thing I think I did to get that 99.95? Look, honestly, I think for me, this is a personal thing, but it's my focus on study techniques. Literally every day I would be thinking about this. Like literally every day. Literally every time I studied, I'd be like, could I improve my study techniques? That's part of Kolb's experiential cycle. Yeah, that was it for me. And it seems to be, the research supports this as well, that, you know, having that sort of like marginal gains attitude is a very successful way of changing your current like ability, if that makes sense. Like you can actually become quote unquote book smart, as much as it seems impossible, because you're just doing things that don't work. So that's what makes it seem impossible. But when you start to find the things that actually work, then it's something I don't see super uncommon when, you know, mentoring people and helping them out with these things. And they surprise themselves as well. What's the best way to memorize quotes then, for me at least? Look, I think it's always important more to focus on you than me, because I've got a lot of techniques that I use, and it's really about you. You want to use them. So there's a lot. But some of the easier things is like contextualize that quote, understand how it fits into the bigger picture, use this thing called chunking, and you should be okay. Flashcards are a must as well. How do you cram bio? Haven't studied. Exactly the same thing I said about maths. Did I choose chemistry as my year 10 elective and back down? It was compulsory for us in year 10, and then year 11 I was like, nah. And then year 12, oh, I couldn't do it in year 11 because I was doing like way too many subjects. I did like, I think I did like 11 or 12 subjects. I did like 4 year 12 subjects, and then I had a whole year 11 curriculum that was managing at the same time. So that's why I couldn't do chemistry, even though I wanted to. I think that's how it went. But year 12, the teacher wasn't great, so I just avoided it. Is doing all 3 sciences in year 11 in year 12 a good idea? If you can manage it. If it's something you enjoy, you're good at, then do it. I know multiple people. No, multiple people who did that. Oh, thanks, Nadiv. Maybe it's Nadiv. I'm not sure. Let me know. What should we do when we make mistakes on our practice exams for bio, for example? You really want to figure out why you made the mistake. So so the easiest way of me explaining Kolb's experiential cycles is through this what, why, and how framework. So what was the mistake? Why did you make the mistake? And really getting into the rationale behind that. You didn't make the mistake because you misread. It's more often than not, you didn't understand the importance of this certain word. So an easy way is like, think about this, okay? The word certain can have varying contexts. UK revoked this paper for certain, this law for certain. So certain there means 100% that they remove this bill from the UK government. Whereas if I said certain UK government bills were removed, now certain means some. And some means anywhere from 0 to 100% exclusive. So very in context there. All right, we got 61 people. Invite your friends if they have exams. They can quickly ask their question as well if they have any thoughts. Might help them, who knows? But what else are they doing on a Sunday night?
Nice.
Oh. Siri thought I said nice. Did I discuss my answer with peers after exams? No. Somewhat. Like, you get stuck into the conversations. Honestly, try to avoid them because they're just stress-inducing and you can't change anything. So, the exam's done. Is doing chem, bio, and investigating science in year 12 a good idea? Yeah, again, if you're good at them. What do I put on one page of notes for a science exam? Why do you have to do that, Evan? Is that for like what you take in? Or is this like a note summary page thing? How do you make theme statements for English for your essays? Usually I try and frame this just by asking questions. That's usually the way I go about it. And it's often what a lot of authors do when they're writing their books. Essentially, it's just, yeah, what do I think the author's trying to say here? How does this connect to this theme? And how does it connect to the author's intentions? Those are really just the questions I ask. If I can't find the answer, I'll ask more questions to figure out, you know, my line of thought. Very question-based. I had an English topic last year in medicine. They made us do a communication topic, which is very interesting. So now I can officially say I did English at uni. Active recall, spaced repetition on Notion, still valid study techniques. Active recall and spaced repetition are always going to be valid study techniques, but on Notion isn't necessarily the best way to apply them. Active recall and spaced repetition is just like recalling the information from your memory without being cued, and spacing that. That's it. Do I always use an essay style to respond to my English exams? I'm not sure I get what you mean, Natalie. I know for psych, we were told not to write intros and conclusions, so I just got to the main points. But that was English. So I'm not sure what you mean by difference in essay style. Oh my god, okay, it seems like I'm really behind, so I'm going to speed this up. If I don't answer your question in enough detail, just ask it again. How many 3/4s do you recommend for year 12? As many as you need, right, to get good marks. Do you use Notability or GoodNotes? I use Notability. I like to keep scrolling infinitely. GoodNotes doesn't let you do that, and GoodNotes just keeps releasing a new version every time. Hey Mahir, how you going? After your final exams, how did you progress in your study system and productivity when you started uni, or do you do something in between? I recommend you check out my video. I have a video talking about that. Did I take any tutoring? No, not really. I had like 2 sessions with like a 99.95 achiever to figure out his secrets. Do you think it's possible to achieve perfect scores just by school, practice, papers, self-studies? Yes, but I would put study techniques in there to stack up your deck. Angelina, could you make a video on mind mapping with examples? I'm planning to use it for biology, but I don't know how to start. Yes, I do plan to do this. I definitely should. But for now, you should be able to check out my bio video because I give an example around that. Haha. Wi-Fi X Smasher. This guy reminds me of Ali Abdul videos. Well, actually, when's my next meeting? There was other people, but like, we were all in a call with Ali 2 days ago at 4:45 a.m. my time. So we're going to meet up again in 2 weeks. I'm actually helping him out with his part-time YouTuber Academy. One of the student supporters there. Okay, what subjects did I get tutored for? I mean, I basically did it for spec. That was it. But I wasn't tutored. I had 2 tutoring sessions to ask about his study techniques. Do I copy Ali's content? Can you tell me how I've copied his content? Like, sure, the initial retrospective timetable I mentioned I got from Ali, but maybe the active recall and space repetition videos I made about Notion very early on. But like, what else have I copied from him? And even if you ask Ali, like I'm asked him constantly, like if you watch my video Day in the Life with Ali, working for Ali, like I asked him, is like, do you care about me doing this? He's like, nah, go ahead. Do you care about me copying this? Nah, go ahead. Like he's really chill about it. And even for the other guys who were doing it around the same time, feels, you know, we're helping out. iPad giveaway? Nah, can't do that. Yeah, maybe if a sponsor pays for it. Do a happy dance and a song. Oh, okay, I'll do a happy dance and a song if we hit 100. Nah, I'll do a butter chicken mukbang. I might do that. Opinion on flashcards. A lot of people use them wrong, which is why they're quite tiring for you. Yeah. Yeah, so Evan, for your question with the 1 page, is that just for like summary notes? Because I mean, yeah, summary notes actually aren't that effective. How to balance time between subjects. Study efficiency. How do I study immunology? What are the best means to do so? Good question. So for me, I'm doing my mind mapping. I mean, it's really interesting, right? Like in the beginning, if I thought about like neutrophils, eosinophils, mast cells, basophils, all those words like macrophages, they were so foreign to me. But I spent the time to inquiry-based learn those, and now it's just like bedrock of all of my immunology foundations. So inquiry-based learning, mind mapping, I have some videos on that. You might want to watch one around biology. Explains it in a lot more detail than I can here. Active recall, space repetition, valid technique. Yeah, we talked about that. Hey Luke, so they didn't give you a week off before exams. Just don't go. Just go, stay home. Like that's what I did. Like my attendance was so bad around year 12 exams. They can't do anything about it. They won't do anything about it. They want you to pass. They just have to say that because that's their obligation. Any tips for vector proofs? You need to use inquiry-based learning there, and you need to spend a lot of time playing around with it. I also recommend watching 3 Blue, 1 Brown. I will explain it in a lot more detail for you. If you're spending a lot of time on physics, what's making you spend a lot of time on physics? Balancing subjects is definitely based off prioritization. Definitely don't spend it equally. If you're really good at maths, you don't need to spend more time on maths. How would you prepare for a data test for chemistry, physics? When I had those, I spent a lot of time really digging into what does validity really mean? What is internal validity versus external validity? So really getting up my conceptual understanding around these ideas, basically because the idea that if you understand a concept, you can be quite prepared for a lot of curveball questions to be thrown at you. What do I do with mistakes you make in a practice exam for like bio? Kind of mentioned that. So Kolb's exponential cycle, really trying to figure out the what, why, how framework, and we try to understand it logically. Yes, you should do that. And to do that, you want to ask yourself, okay, so what do I need to understand about this to be able to apply it? Figure that out. Why is this concept important? How does this concept relate to other concepts? Those 3 questions should help you out quite a bit. Thanks, Daniel. What would I recommend for cramming all 5 HSC exams in 2 weeks? That's a massive amount of cram. Prioritization. You need to set deadlines for each week. sorry, you need to set deadlines for like every 4 days and what you need to have achieved by then, so you can know if you're hitting your goals. Luke, this mic is definitely not meant for it. I would recommend like a blue Yeti or a blue Snowball, something like that. But this is a proper setup. So this microphone is actually supposed to be used only for cameras. Now I am using a camera right now, but you can also see that I've got this focus right. This is like a legitimate, how do I show this without cutting the audio? It's a legitimate, focus. There we go. It's a legitimate thing that is used for recording music. So I do play music, so that's why I have it. And I did need to buy an adapter, so I definitely would not recommend getting my microphone because it actually doesn't work with this thing until I got the adapter, which was like 40 bucks. Yeah. Do you think people get tutoring without tutoring? Sorry, people can get for perfect schools without tutoring. Yes, I didn't get tutoring. Do you only set up year 12? Year 12? What? Whoa, all the questions. Do I only set year 12 students up with their study systems, or would I mentor uni students as well? Yes, I do. I do. I actually work with quite a few medical students as well. Can I tutor you for maths and physics? I actually don't tutor anymore. I focus just purely on helping people with, study techniques, mentoring, coaching them, because that's far more meaningful. Did I take notes? Kind of. But during classes, I'd mess around. Because again, right, it's not where most of the stuff happens. I would recommend checking out some of my other videos. All right. So we've been doing this for 45 minutes so far. Maybe we got like 15 minutes left. Maybe this is where the good questions come out. Do you follow exam questions in order or jump to easier questions first? I just do them in order. Is UTS? I don't even know what UTS is. Hey Matt, what are my suggestions for studying proofs? Unique methods. So you wanna figure out why they use those methods. If you don't achieve your goals, is there a simpler approach to time management or revision plans? Depends on what goals you're setting again. Like if you're talking about weekly goals, best bio tips, actually understand how mitosis and meiosis differ from each other and why meiosis leads to genetic variation. Don't just rote learn things. That's the biggest mistake. People think that bio is just for memorization. There's a lot more to it. What to put on one page of a note for science exam. It's an open put exam, but a restricted one page. Put the stuff that you think you're going to forget. There you go. Exam is in 2 days. You don't know shit. What do you recommend doing? You want to figure out what you don't know and spend your time there. That's probably the best thing. Should you get an iPad for note taking? I think it's quite convenient. That's the word I would use. So if you can afford it, wait for my video where I review these iPads. Okay, coming soon. Soonish. Why is this like not? That's good. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. How many exams did I do for bio? I did this in year 11, so maybe like way too many, like 7 or 8 or something like that. Thanks, Vishal. How long did it take for me to master the basic study techniques like active recall and inquiry-based learning? Active recall took me a long time because I didn't know what I was doing. Inquiry-based learning, maybe like a month. Good luck, Mark, and everyone who's got their HSC. Am I enjoying life right now? Yes, I would say I am. I'm very grateful for a lot of the things for where I am right now. but I'm also kind of in a rut. And I've been thinking about this a lot in the mornings. Like, what do I want to do in my life? So that's the, I guess, the more stressful part. Most difficult subject in med school. For me, it was immunology, because I just didn't know anything about immunology. Because, oh, hey, Mary. Welcome. So, I didn't know anything about immunology. I was supposed to do it in year 10, but I didn't. I skipped that class. They didn't let us do it. When is mind map video coming out? I don't know. Soon. I've said that for like months. How did I get myself to do stuff? I can't deal with procrastination the way I'd like to, no matter what the productivity and stuff and all that. So I think you actually have the information to know how to deal with procrastination, but you need to like actually figure out what you're doing. Like, there's this thing called the ABC model. ABC is antecedents. I've forgotten it. Give me a sec. ABC model is what it's called. So basically, for any sort of behavior that we follow, i.e. procrastination, there's antecedents, behavior, and then consequences. And just give that a Google, and that will give you a way to look into this. Now, you just need to find the cues that are allowing you to procrastinate. And by the way, every time that you allow yourself to procrastinate, you get better at procrastinating. You are rewarding yourself for avoiding an uncomfortable situation. So just think about that the next time you procrastinate. By you procrastinating, you're teaching yourself to procrastinate better. How would I deal with habitual inattentiveness? Again, same thing, honestly. ABC model, figure out what it is. CBT, I'm doing some CBT, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm using an app, and it's not because I'm depressed or anything. It's just because, like, you know, your mental health is important. And in order for me to, like, you know, be at my peak performance, which is something I like to do, CBT is always going to be useful. You don't need to be an expert around mental health on your own. Did I procrastinate in high school? 100%. Everyone procrastinates. I still procrastinate. What do you think I'm doing right now? I'm not studying. So I don't want to study right now. My attendance is term 4 is 23. I don't know what mine is. But you're also in COVID, so yeah, you got to, like, it's a little bit different. Insomnia for the past week. Yeah, damn. You got to figure out what it is. ABC model. I don't actually have a video about productivity after high school, but a lot of the principles that I talk about are the exact same thing. Stairways, you want to make sure you come along to the Catalyst session. We have one next week. But in fundamentals, that should be more than enough to help you out. Do I watch a bit of YouTube as can waste time? Yeah, I watch YouTube. Hey Simona. How to improve work efficiency and prevent zoning out while studying? I zone out way too much. Again, ABC model, you need to figure out what those antecedents are. What are the cues that make you zone out? And what are you doing in your environment that allows you to do that? Is your phone next to you? Put it away. Are you not putting a deadline on yourself? That is scary. If your deadline isn't scary, like give, you know, your pocket money to your mum and dad, then you're not gonna feel like you need to do it. What are my thoughts on doing 2 languages? If it's something you enjoy, yeah. Are there downsides to only doing 5 subjects instead of 6? Does it affect your ATAR at all? Well, it depends if you bomb on one of the subjects. Having 6 subjects means that you can you can replace one of them. But you shouldn't be planning for that. Planning to do bad in one. First term of year 12. How did you go about your first exams? Did you write paper notes in class? No, I didn't. Or type inquiry-based learning. I didn't write, I draw with mind mapping. But an easy way of going about it in the beginning is writing out questions, inquiry-based questions onto Notion. Some of my earliest videos. First term of year 12, yeah, so how do I go my first exams? Yeah, pretty much everything that I explained in this channel. Research investigations, how do I do them effectively? Maybe I should make a video on that. But basically I use this thing called the FBR method, fast, bad, wrong with an R. And really, again, inquiry-based learning, really figuring out what they want from us based off the marking criteria. Can I have 2 sessions with you to find out my study techniques? Maybe. I don't know how we would even organize that. Do I memorize dates? How do you memorize them? You can use method of loci, or you can just use flashcards. Natalie, have you watched my video for bio? By the way, you just gotta try it out, right? You'll figure it out. It's very uncomfortable, but you know, that's one of the things that makes it so good. Discomfort means learning, very often. Learning can not actually occur without it being discomforting. Oh, that was my neck. That was loud. That might like annoy a lot of people. We got 5 minutes left. Is 12 or 10 units better in year 12? Again, doesn't really matter. No worries, Evan. Sorry about that. Just been catching up with this chat. Do you think a tutor is necessary? Nope. How do you eliminate personal bias when you check over your answers? I guess this really comes just down to being familiar with the marking criteria at that point. So then you have that more objective measure. But I mean, really, there would be more important factors over the top of your personal bias, because your personal opinion is going to be much aligned to the marking criteria if you've addressed that in the beginning. What app do I use for CBT? I'm using Bloom. I'm using the free version of it. Angelina procrastinating watching this now. Well, I hope this is valuable. So then it's a productive procrastination. Hasnain. I would recommend, you know, really looking into some of this stuff with someone who knows a lot more than us. Bloom is a good place to start. Like I love anything to do with like psychology. Like even, you know, Michael, right? He sees psychologists like weekly. Oh, bi-weekly, sorry. Because it's about like, you know, even I was talking to Justin about this as well. Like there are people out there who go to psychologists because they understand how important it is to, you know, make sure that that everything is in the right place, so that like things like stress and anxiety can't even happen. Like preventative measures. That's why I would love to go see a psychologist. But for now, I'm just using Bloom, which is pretty much the same with just not having human interaction. But yeah. Is year 12 physics harder? Yes. Thoughts of making a streaming channel? I don't really want to save my live streams. I think it removes the novelty of it. So with flashcards, how do people use them wrong? They make too many. The flashcards are not high quality. They put things on flashcards that should be understood instead. Flashcard overload. Those are many of the few things. Okay, looks like I'm catching up. Hey, Uday. How to stop yourself getting absorbed into detail during pre-study. You just need to like recognize when that happens and then just go, no, I'm not going into the detail. I'm moving on to the next thing. Because you're going to cover it later. Right, that's the whole point. Best mindset going into the exam. Yeah, you've done your preparation now. You just got to do it. Just got to do it. So believe in yourself. And there you go. Love to use mind mapping as a learning method, but it always leaves me blank on exact definitions. What do you mean? Why do you need to know the definitions? Like, does your test actually ask you, like, what is this? Depends what year level you're in. How would you deal with headaches due to long hours on screen during everyday tasks and doing inquiry-based learning and mind mapping? 2020 is going to only help you for a little bit. You actually need to like figure out what your tasks are and if you need to be doing them. Because there's a lot of tasks that, like this is like what I was looking into with Khe. So Khe space Hy. He's a productivity guru, right? This is called like existential productivity. How many tasks do you have that are not actually changing your life that you don't actually need? And you can reduce that significantly. So for me, it's been getting rid of tutoring. Tutoring actually doesn't let me help people in the way that I think is most meaningful. It doesn't change their life. So I stopped doing it. And now I just focus around mentoring and coaching, which changes people a lot more. All right. Well, if it asks for definitions and it's limited, your focus, like how often do you lose the marks on the definitions? How often are you losing marks for the other stuff? By pure virtue, prioritization is not focusing on the stuff that is limited. Any chair recommendations? Herman Miller's Sale was mine. Finally got a new one after like 6 years of like wrecking my other one. We're gonna wrap up soon. Exam tomorrow. Haven't studied. Well, if there's anything you need to do, then take a look at it briefly tonight, but just get a good sleep. That's all that matters. How to ace maths invest assignments. You need to show how you really understand the maths quite deeply and intimately. So inquiry-based learning helps a lot with that. How to study histopathology. Inquiry-based learning. Jasim, I hope I'm not, saying your name wrong, but thank you. I really appreciate it. When I'm going to add another paint. Is this a high priority investment? My chair was, which is why I spent money on it. This is just something random that I had in my house. Name of pot plant. We never got one. Very green under this light. How does it look when you focus on it? Ooh, crisp. Look at that blur. Wow, what do we name it? Going into year 12 next year, would I recommend studying for the exams at the start of the year? Yes, definitely. Should you make flashcards for everything? No. Yeah, if you understand the logic behind your concepts, you should find your own definitions. Like, this happens so much in physics. IKEA vlog. Tell Caitlin. We'll do it. Name it Jackie. Name it Isaac. That's a good one. It's kind of funny. Ben. Well, if you really need to memorize definitions, then you can chuck them into Anki, but it's usually not the best thing. You always want to logically derive it if you can, and you can do that for a lot of definitions. I don't know why they're testing you on the definition. It's like not how you use that knowledge in real life. Anyway, thanks guys for coming along. I'm actually going to keep this up. This is one I will keep up. because I think this will be quite useful for people just for now. But this won't be up forever, so make use of it for your exams. But yeah, if you're not yet in the Discord, make sure you come along. Right, I answer questions there as well. I hang out there. It's a really good place to be, and this is the link. I'll see you guys there. If I haven't got to your question, then definitely just ask it there, and I'll make sure to get to it. But yeah, thanks again for coming along. It's been fun. Hopefully you found this useful, and realize that you're not alone, and that we can all help each other out. But yeah, all right, easy. Catch you guys later. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.